Hi, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your February 16th, 2022 full moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading and clear the energy space, I once again want to thank each and every one of you for all your healing energy, well wishes as I recover from this concussion. So thank you all so very much. It's just astounding, your generosity. All right, so now let's clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting ourselves feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So let's see what the tarot has to say. How will Taurus be affected by the February 16th, 2022 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. 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 So we have a bit of a new setup. Let me know what you think of it. At the bottom here, at the front, right here, is our inner selves. Is our rooted selves. The left-hand side is our inner selves. The back is our emotional selves, our heart selves. And the right-hand side is the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Lovers, which is Gemini energy, and we have Judgment. So we're really rising in love during this time, which makes perfect sense. Also, if we have Gemini energy within our natal chart, or we're born on the cusp with Gemini, this is coming through very powerfully here at our root. And again, this all makes sense because this is such a positive, promising moon that we are entering into. Then we have our our inner selves. I do apologize. We have the Five of Wands and Justice. Libra energy is represented by Justice in the major arcana, right? So if we have Libra within our natal chart, that's coming through very powerfully within our inner selves. But there's also a sense of there's justice coming in after the battles, after the chaos, after the hurts and the pains. And we're also going to be so ready for so much more fighting, and it's no, we've had enough of it. So it's really great. The energy is it's just calming down and centering. Then we have our emotional selves. We have the Fool and the Emperor, so Aries energy. If we're born on the cusp with Aries, that comes in. I love that we have another major arcana card with the Magician. So with the Fool, here there is that sense that we're taking a leap of faith towards what we want. We also have to not be afraid to be foolish, especially when we think that we're encountering people who know more than us. And that doesn't mean that we let ourselves be foolish, act a fool type of thing and make a fool out of ourselves. But what it means is that we jump towards what we greatly desire, what we greatly need, what we greatly want within our lives and for ourselves to be able to move us forward. And that's going to be so intrinsically important during this time. And there's just such a sense of, I'm embracing this powerful energy. I'm claiming the throne of who I am. And again, if we have Aries within our natal chart, if we're born on the cusp with Aries, that comes through very powerfully emotionally for us. That part of our natal chart will really dictate a lot of our emotional way of seeing things. With the Magician, as above, so below. As I stand before the altar of my existence, as I claim my desires and my wants and my needs, I know that my mind affects my body so intensely, but also affects the way that I move forward, the way that I go after things. And so being just very aware of that as we have the courage to say, no, but this is the way I'm moving forward for me. This is what I'm creating, discovering, wanting within my life. It becomes a game changer. It moves us to our public arena selves. We have the 10 of Wands, and we have the Devil, which is Capricorn energy. So this is burdens and demands and being overwhelmed, the 10 of Wands. It's everything that we carry. And it's this sense of, do I carry this with me? Like, am I burnt at the stake with this? Which seems, it seems like a rather harsh imagery, but is this the energy that is going to take me down? Is this the energy that's going to take away from the vitality of my life and of myself and of the way that I want to move forward? Because the Devil is the waking world, right? And the Devil is also Capricorn energy. So if we have Capricorn energy within our natal chart, that comes through very powerfully here in our waking selves, in our, conscious world. The Devil is also saying to us what chains you, what defines you, what burdens you, what brings you. In the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it's the opposite of the Lovers. The Lovers are here blessed by the angel, with kind of her hands held out to them, and they move forward, in this, kind of connection of love and of self and of discovery. With the Devil, it is the Devil holding the chains of the naked man and the naked woman, just as the angel, stands before the naked man and woman to say, these are your blessings. The naked man and the naked woman are now chained to what they will have to toil at the rest of their lives, or what they will be burdened with forevermore. Or at least it seems that way, because in the moment of living, it just seems like, okay, this is never going to end. And yet we're going to discover that there is such a power to move us forward. There is such a brilliance to guide us during this time, that we're starting to break these chains. And we're starting to look at the energy that weighs us down and saying, you know what? No, I deserve more than to just simply look at the dirt on my shoes. I deserve more, and I am letting in the joy. I am letting in the blessing. So let's see the energy we need to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. This is the King of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This is it's all work and nothing else. This is, you will get it done or else. And we're going to find during this time that we need that balance. We need the balance of our dreams and our tenacity. We need the balance of, all the forces that are pulling us in opposite directions. The full moon always makes us look at the opposing forces in our lives, the opposite forces, our work and our home lives, our wants and our needs, other people's wants and our wants, and it has us looking at things so differently. It has us looking at ourselves so differently that we start to see things so much more openly and honestly for us. But we can easily get pulled back into that sense of, oh no, but it has to be like this. Oh no, but it has to be, this way. And that's just not going to jive with the energy that we're bringing forward during this time. Let us look at our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. And it is Mother Earth. This is the Earth Star chakra located 6 inches below our feet. We need to connect with our earth. We need to connect with the ground that, supports us, that gives us food, the waters that nurture us. This is a real sense of really embracing our earth energy, Taurus, and grounding ourselves in this earth, in this presence, in this time, and really connecting with our own energy of the Earth Mother, the caring, nurturing person, but also the tidal waves and the hurricanes and the blizzards, and looking at the power that is us and letting us move forward in that energy of force and determination, but also malleability and intimidating power is really what Spirit is showing me. And it doesn't mean that we are being intimidating. It's just that we are saying there is so much more to me then I have realized, and I'm embracing that energy of the earth that guides me, that transforms me, that nurtures me, that sustains me. All right, so let us talk about this moon. This is the full moon in Leo, and here it says, don't let pride get in the way. And that's going to be so important. Pride, the ego, taking over, taking away the blessings that are coming during this time. The full moon is opposite the sun. The moon is opposite the sun. That's what makes the full moon. It says every story begins with the full moon. And the full moon is all about our family, our home, our relationships, and it really brings into focus, again, those opposite forces within our lives, our wants, our needs, our work, our home. And this is a time when we seek balance, and we need to listen. We need to listen to divine guidance of the spotlight of the full moon and what spirit is trying to tell us, things that are coming forward, things that we've been drawn to, and yet we might not have known why. And maybe it's to open up that door and go outside. Maybe it is to let more laughter into our lives. Whatever we find ourselves drawn to, we have to ask ourselves, why is that so important to me during this time? Or why is that so important to me, period? This is a very positive, again, this is a very positive, very beautiful moon. There aren't really a lot of opposing forces during this time. This is the first full moon in 2022 that isn't during a Mercury retrograde, which I know we've only had one full moon so far, but we have 8 shadow periods coming forward in the full moon. We have 8 shadow periods of Mercury retrograde. We have, I don't remember how many Mercury retrogrades we have coming forward. I think we have 2 or 3 more during this time, maybe even better. But now all the planets are out of retrograde, and we are going to be looking at ourselves standing in this time. We're also very drawn to the Mars energy that is coming forward. Mars is conjunct Venus and Vespa, and they are in Capricorn. So that energy is going to be important to us. Why is this energy going to be important to us? Because it brings a greater energy to us. What is greater that is coming to the table? What do we need to get things done, to move things forward, to have us moving in the direction that we are being so drawn to during this time? That energy that is coming forward, that's saying, pay attention to me. Let us start to pay attention. This alignment is in harmony with Uranus and with Neptune coming forward. So this means that the energy is very centered around what we want and need to move forward in our lives towards our dreams, towards what we desire. Neptune is all about our dreams. Neptune rules the visual communication as well as represents our dreams and what we hope will happen and become within our world. We need to remember that Neptune is the lord of the unseen world, which helps us to bring the unseen world into reality, into the seeing world. And this is also going to be something for us to start manifesting our dreams forward. While Uranus is the innovator, it is the unpredictable, imaginative, creative, independent energy, that, idealistic energy that moves us forward. This is the energy of creation. It is also the energy of creative and scientific genius, the energy that has us looking outside of the box. It's important to know that the lunar nodes, both the south and the north lunar node, are activated during a full moon. The lunar nodes are known as the nodes of faith. The south lunar node brings us the energy of the past, including our past lives. So it is our story, it is our history, while the north lunar node is the present and what we need to accomplish within this life, what we are being drawn to achieving. Now, Jupiter is in Pisces, and Jupiter represents success. This brings us optimism and enthusiasm. This is the air of this has the air of being able to accomplish anything and to, really overcome anything that seems impossible, really able to say, oh no, I can do this. So at our root here, we have our lovers, we have the connection, we have the beauty, and we have the judgment coming in, our angels blowing their trumpets, telling us to listen to the energy that is guiding us. It's raising us out of the darkness. It's raising us out of being stuck. We have the beautiful sacred masculine, sacred feminine energy coming forward. Our angels guide us. Our angels lead us. And we're going to start to see ourselves becoming more than what we had thought. But we're needing to really focus our hearts on what we love, on the joy that elevates us forward, and the beauty that gets to sustain us and bring us into a new reality, into a new existence. And it has us looking here as we're faced with this love and as we're accepting this love that comes forward, it has us here looking at all the battles that we have fought. And we're going to think, oh, it's just going to be one more battle, isn't it? If I let down my guards, if I embrace what I love, I'm just going to have to, stay in a perpetual battle with XYZ. And that's not necessarily going to be the case. We might have things that we do need to fight for during this time in our inner selves to be able to say, okay, this is what needs my attention. This is what doesn't. This is what moves me forward. This is what isn't, type of energy that comes for us to see and to understand by. But what we are also going to see here is that what is it that we are fighting that is taking away from our love of life, our love of self, our love of becoming more than we imagined, and it brings us to justice. Are we embracing justice as we are looking at the chaos around us? There's going to be a need to stop the fighting. It isn't saying here, excuse me, excuse me. It isn't saying, stop standing up for yourself, but it's saying what is just. What is the balance that you need within your life? Because the full moon is all about balance. It's all about seeking the balance, the spotlight being put on the balance that we want to discover within our lives, to move us forward towards justice, to move us forward towards what we desire, want, need, hope for, dream of, wish for. And so justice comes in and says, be discerning about the energy you are letting go of. Be discerning about the time you are giving to people, what matters and what doesn't. Because we're going to be kind of calling out a lot of the nonsense during this time, a lot of the time wasting we've been doing, a lot of the people who have been taking and never giving back. And it brings us to the energy of the Fool. And the energy of the Fool is saying, I might be foolish, all right? I might, not be what everybody expects me to be, but I am moving forward in the glory and in the greatness that is me. I'm jumping over the doubts and the fears, the waters, the emotions that hold me back, and I'm stepping into a brilliance, a power, and a tenacity of self that really is quite extraordinary. And as we take that fool's jump, as we know that every single person who is the hero of their story first became the fool, first was the fool, first was seen as the fool. And so we'll say, you'll see me as foolish, but I am entering into that place of being the emperor. I'm entering into that energy of claiming my throne, knowing what it is that I want, saying, this is my power, this is my focus, this is my purpose, this is my desire forward. And what's so interesting in the astrological alignment of Mars conjunct Venus is that we are ruled, Taurus, by Venus. And in mythology, right, Mars and Venus were lovers. Aries and Aphrodite in Greek mythology were lovers. And so here, when we have the emperor come forward, we also have the energy that is us, that is the lover of the emperor, stepping forward in ourselves and saying, I am building this, I'm creating this. The passion of the emotions and the fire of determination and building on this earthly plane are coming together emotionally for us to stand before the altar of our existence, to stand before what we want, what we need, what we are discovering for ourselves and seeing ourselves transform because of it. We stand before the altar of what we need, and we know that what we think about really does affect us. What we feed ourselves, through the media that we watch or read, or however we consume our media, how it impacts us. The way that we connect with the world that is around us affects us. And sometimes it can show that we are in chaos, and sometimes it can show that we need to heal, and sometimes it can show so much more. Actually, all the time, it can show so much more than we ever realized about ourselves. And so here we stand before the altar of our existence, and we say, what am I seeing? What is the power that is around me? What is the insight that is guiding me forward? What is it that I am becoming, that I need to become, and that I am being led towards? And so the magician comes forward with the gifts of the mind, with the gifts of our passion and of our heart and of our, grounding to this earth, and says, will you pick up your gifts, or will you say, I'm not worthy? Will you carry the load of beauty and opportunities that is being handed to us, or will we say, oh, it's too much? And it brings us then to the 10 of Wands, because we've had enough. We've been carrying a lot. And a lot of times the gifts that come around us can look like the trapping of fools that we've gone through before, right? The trapping of, oh, if you just work harder, oh, if you just do this, oh, if you just do that, you'll be able to get to where it is that you want to be. And it makes us feel foolish. But what we have to understand is that we're not being the fool that is taken away, right? The fool that is laughed at and mocked. We are being the fool that is moving towards the glory of themselves. That is saying, you might not understand what I have planned for me. You might not understand the beauty and the tenacity that is leading me, but I understand it. I'm embracing it. And so we look at the pyre that could be being built, that we feel that is around us, and we say no to the flames. We say no. And we start to put down and release ourselves from what has been betraying us, from every single thing that we have put on our shoulders that has overloaded us. And we're saying enough is really quite enough. And as we say that, we look at the chains that have held us. We look at the desires and the obsessions and the fears and the shadows. And we say, listen, I can stay chained here forever. In the coping mechanisms that are actually harmful, the negative coping mechanisms that we've developed over time, to the expectations of others, to the perfect illusion of what I should be instead of the perfect reality of who I am. And we're saying to the chains, enough is enough. And as we say enough is enough, we start to find ourselves. And as we start to find ourselves, we start to embrace ourselves. What we want, what we need, who it is that we are, and who it is, quite frankly, that we aren't. And sometimes releasing that, not only sometimes releasing that, but releasing that expectation becomes so freeing. It leads us to our lunar selves. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Oh, goodness. All right, this one, and then this one just popped out, so we'll just put this. Can you see that? Yes, we'll put that right there. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Oops, no, there we go. Fantastic. So we start at our root. And here it says, as we embrace what we love, it tells us you and your loved ones are safe. So that's so beautiful. The lovers came up right with it. And it's like you and your loved ones are safe. The new moon in Cancer comes forward. And it's like, okay, I am protected. We are protected. And as that protection of love is around us, it moves us to power. It moves us to the full moon. This full moon brings us power because this full moon is peacefully and powerfully prompting us forward, moving us towards our dreams, our desires, our hopes, and our wishes. Our inner self says here, nothing is yet set in stone, the unexpected. So we have this fight that we're going through. We have this justice that we're embracing, and we're going to think, oh my gosh, it's all set in stone. Like it's always going to be like this. It has to be like this. And Spirit is saying, oh no, you've kind of got it wrong. And so then it brings us to our emotional self. And it says, it's time to release negativity, the full moon in Scorpio, for it brings us pleasure. As we release the negativity that has held us back, defined us, hurt us, tried to make us and forge us into what it wanted us to be, we start to see the pleasure of ourselves coming forward, the pleasure of our hearts and what we desire and what we can achieve if we simply let our emotions in. And as we let our emotions in, it brings us to our public arena self. And it is a time for healing with the balsamic moon. And it says assessing. It is a time for healing as we are assessing, as we are looking at our lives, as things become clear, as pain is released, and chronic pain. If we've been in chronic pain, chronic heartbreak, chronic pain, as we start to, look at things, and maybe we go on an elimination diet. Maybe we, look at certain habits that we have that aren't healthy for us. And we start to eliminate things from our lives that are negative, that are hurtful, that are toxic. We start to assess. And then it's like that healing time comes in. And we start to see the world opening up in a way that is extraordinary. And the extra card that came out is fear. It's like, am I going to be held as a prisoner of my fear? Or am I going to break out of that fear and let myself be as free? Well, maybe not as free as the crows on chains, or and let myself fly. Let myself become. Let myself look at what I desire, what I need, what I want. Or is fear going to be the defining factor of who I am forever and ever. Our subconscious Luna message is boundaries, and the answer you need is coming. So as the answers we need are coming, we need to have boundaries. We need to set up strong, secure boundaries around ourselves to say enough is really quite enough. I'm not being defined, held back, stopped in a way that is having me cut out from who I am. Our subconscious energy to be mindful of is the Queen of Cups, is the emotions just taking over. Are people, kind of poisoning our emotions, poisoning what we are looking at and saying, oh no, it has to be like this. Oh no, it has to be like that. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. We need to look at what we emotionally want, need, and desire, and not let other people dictate how we feel and who we are. It moves us to our subconscious chakra energy, which is the inner child. Subconsciously, our inner child is saying, connect, 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 connect with me. It doesn't matter if we had the most wonderful childhood or if our childhood was difficult or even tragic. What we need to do is hold our arms open to the child that we once were, the child who is small and dependent on everybody else, and say, I love you. I'm here for you. As that child runs into our arms, I will always listen to you. I will always be here for you. I will always care for you. And as we do this, as we connect in this way, it moves us to our subconscious rooted self, which is the High Priestess. The veil is lifted from our eyes, and we are seeing ourselves so much more openly, so much more readily, so much more honestly than we have before. And it can be sometimes something we don't want to see or things that we don't want to see. But it's better to know than to be in the shadows. And as we look and as we discover and as we become, this is our female counterpart. In the tarot, we are the Hierophant, the Pope, right? In the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, in the early form of the tarot, the High Priestess was known as the female Pope. And so here we are embracing that energy. It is the energy of the Hierophant, which is the energy of the knowing, energy of the power, energy of, the rules. But here, the High Priestess is the energy of the emotional knowing, of the emotional power, of the emotional rules. It isn't an institution, but it is the individual. And as we start to see ourselves more clearly and more honestly and more openly, we start to see the world around us with a clarity and an openness and an honesty that has us overwhelmed at times. A veil is being lifted. And we see ourselves with honesty, and we also start to see those around us with honesty. And so that is going to be quite extraordinary. It can also be a little bit disconcerting when we start to see people that we thought were supposed to be in this light. We start to see them in a different light. It moves us to our subconscious, inner self, and that's the Emperor. Again, Aries energy coming forward. Again, the counterpart of our Venus energy coming forward. And it's the power, and it's the determination, and it is the focus of what needs to be done on this earthly plane to move us towards something so much more than what we could ever have been. It is the claiming of our throne, the claiming of our desire. It is knowing that somebody has to lead the way. So why the heck not us? Especially within our own lives. And as we embrace this, we embrace ourselves. We look at what is truly important to us, and it brings us to our subconscious emotional self, which is the Four of Cups. We're looking in a certain way, and we can just be overwhelmed. We're not seeing a gift that is coming our way. And this gift might actually feel like another burden placed upon our shoulders, another thing that has to be done, that really winds up opening a door to us. And it's going to take us away from that road that, again, that we thought we were walking. It had to be this way. And spirit, divinity, however we say it, we see it, is saying, oh no, it's so much more than you imagine. The road is so much greater. The path is so much more beautiful than you could ever have known. And it brings us then to our subconscious public arena self, and that is the Ace of Wands. This is career beginnings and travel. This is God, source, spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, handing us a gift of passion and of creativity and of insight and of ideas. And this is the energy that has us shining. This is the spark that sets us apart. And we are embracing it with absolute, just brilliance of self and what we desire. And it is helping us to illuminate the darkness. Think of it as a torch in the shadows, during the night, to move us forward. Just like this full moon is. It is that torch within the darkness to walk a clear path, to understand what it is that we want, to be able to move forward in what was, unsettling terrain before because we could not see clearly. Now we have that sight, we have that clarity, especially because we have the magician at our heart, the high priestess at the subconscious of our roots. Listen to our instincts during this time. It is going to be so important to each and every one of us. All right, Taurus. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy, as we embrace the power, the intensity of this moon and also of ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Taurus, and may you have a blessed moon.